This morning, we're going to rock your world. I want to help you remove the #1 barrier impeding your progress and robbing you of massive chunks of your time. Whenever we send out an inquiry for you to submit questions, or whenever I ask what your biggest struggle is on a day-over-day basis, this is the issue most cited. This is the thing, it seems, that we love to hate. What is it that you ask? Procrastination. By a show of hands, how many of you procrastinate? Hey, you, raise your hand. You know it's true. Oh, what, you didn't think that I could see you? Yeah, technology is something these days, and some of you should splash on a little water on your face there. Get some of the ague wiped out. And some of you watching me while you're on the potty? Come on, man. That's our relationship? Nah, I'm just kidding you. I can't see you. Or can I? Procrastination has always been viewed as a form of laziness, lack of discipline, or poor time management skills. But to blow your mind here this morning, procrastination has nothing to do with how hardworking you are, how disciplined you are or not, or even your time management skills at all. What? You say? Right, it's not a character flaw. It's not a lack of talent, skill, or ability. It has nothing to do with tools, tips, tricks, hacks, resources, devices, apps, or a Pomodoro timer thingy. Procrastination is not even an attitude, a mentality, or a mindset problem. Think about it. Many of you are some of the most skilled, able, disciplined, positive-minded people that there are anywhere on the planet. You read all the books, the blogs, the articles, you know all the tricks, hacks, and have all the apps, and yet you still procrastinate. So why? What gives? Well, here's why. Drum roll, please. Because procrastination is not mental. It has nothing to do with what you know or the strength of your character. Procrastination is emotional. What's blocking you is not that you don't know in your head what to do. What's blocking you is not the lack of the right tool, app, software, timer, or planner. What's blocking you is not a lack of character, discipline, purpose, or a compelling why. What's blocking you are your emotions. Emotions of self-doubt, fear, uncertainty, insecurity, or emotions of boredom, anxiety, stress, frustration, and beyond. There's a lot of research on this now, and I don't know why it took so long for researchers to finally figure this thing out of what's been constantly plaguing, hampering, and derailing human progress for so long, except for the fact that they procrastinated on this. But now, finally, the conclusion is, quote, procrastination is an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem, says Dr. Tim, professor of psychology and member of the Procrastination Research Group at the University in Ottawa. The Procrastination Research Group, who knew that there was such a thing? Can you imagine that work culture? Hey, Tim, did you finish that report? No, I haven't gotten around to it. Good job, Tim. You're doing great. Anyway, I digress. What they finally got around to discovering was procrastination can be understood as, quote, the priority of short-term mood repair over the longer-term pursuit of intended actions. To de-professor speak that, it means procrastination is not merely avoiding a task, it is a tactic to avoid ourselves and the deeper underlying emotions that we have related to the task. Things like self-doubt and fear and anxiety and stress and the rest. The more we will prioritize satiating our mood rather than attacking the work, depending on how much emotion we have around it. Like this, you have a writing project to do, a marketing campaign to write, a presentation to build, a big project to design and plan out, whatevs. You sit down to a blank Word doc after you finally even got yourself to do that, then the emo monsters start bubbling up inside. Ugh, writing is so hard. What if I do a bad job? I'm not smart enough to write this. What will people think of it? What if I get it wrong? This could hurt my reputation. I don't even know where to start. Or even, what if I do a good job? Then I'll be on the hook for what happens after and probably be asked to do this forever. Maybe I should just put on some tea or coffee before starting. Maybe just sort this mail on my desk first to get it out of the way. Oh, dang, the dog needs to be let out. Look at the dust on that ceiling fan. I gotta get up there and get that off. Oh, I just remembered an email that I forgot to respond to. 12 more have come in. All of this can lead you to think that putting that document aside to clear out your emails is a better option to help you get started. But of course, this only compounds the negative associations we have with the task. And those feelings will still be there whenever we come back to it, along with the increased stress and anxiety and feelings of low self-esteem, and now some added self-blame. To add insult to injury, now a vicious cycle has begun. In the immediate present, putting off a task provides relief, which is a reward for procrastinating. And as another of the smart PhDs said from the Procrastination Research Group, quote, as we know from basic behaviorism that when we are rewarded for something, we tend to do it again. And this is precisely why procrastination isn't a one-off behavior, but a cycle, one that easily becomes a chronic habit. She adds, people engage in this irrational cycle of chronic procrastination because of an inability to manage negative moods around the task. So procrastination isn't so much about our ability to manage time, but a form of escapism to cope with challenging emotions and negative moods brought on by certain tasks. And over time, chronic procrastination not only has productivity costs, but measurably destructive effects on our mental, psychological, and physical health. Okay, now that we know the actual cause of our procrastination woes, that it's not a work or a time management issue at all, but an emotional and self-management issue, in our next session, I will give you 3 of the most effective ways that you can better regulate and work around the emotions fueling your procrastination. That it is the ones that are constantly derailing your progress, killing your momentum, and sabotaging your dreams. So I'll see you right back here tomorrow for that. Don't procrastinate. Don't be late. I'll see you mañana. Good morning. I'm so glad that you made it back. So in our last session, we discovered the root cause underlining the one thing we battle with most on a day-over-day basis, even hour by hour, if not even minute-by-minute basis. What is it? Yeah, you remember procrastination. And we learned procrastination has nothing to do with discipline, work ethic, our character, purpose, goals, or whether we have a compelling why or not. And it has nothing to do with what we know to do, which is why the smart people at the Procrastination Research Group said, quote, procrastination is essentially irrational, and it doesn't make sense to do something you know is going to have negative consequences. She adds, but people engage in this irrational cycle of chronic procrastination because of an inability to manage negative moods and emotions around a task. So, procrastination isn't so much about our ability to manage time, but it's actually a form of escapism, a way to cope with challenging emotions brought on by a certain task. Emotions like boredom, anxiety, insecurity, frustration, resentment, self-doubt, and the like. It is one of life's great ironies, isn't it? We procrastinate to avoid negative feelings like stress, but we end up feeling worse like regret and shame because we procrastinated. How do you like that? Would you like to end this horribly corruptive cycle? End it right here? End it right now? Are you up for that? If you are, say, hell yeah! Hell yeah. Okay, great. I'll assume that you said hell yeah. Well, here's the good news before I give you the 3 methods. The good news is we don't need to fix you. You're fine as is. We don't need to do any child regression. We don't need to heal all your emotional wounds from childhood. We don't need to repair your psychic scars from past failures, broken promises, or unachieved ambitions. You can start using these 3 methods right now, right where you are, and immediately on your next task. How about that? Good news, right? Okay, here goes. The first and most important thing to start off with is forgive and forget. What is. What's done is done. Just shut the front door on the past and move on from here, this day, this hour, this minute, forward. The past doesn't matter. The canvas is wiped clean. It's fresh, it's unscarred, it's ready to be created anew. Stop beating yourself up about the past. Thoughts such as, I should have started earlier, or I always procrastinate, I'm such a loser, will only make matters worse. Research shows that forgiving yourself for past procrastination will help you stop putting off working on a task going forward. Here's all I want you to do when you realize the emo monster, your emotions, has been sabotaging you with distraction, redirection, and misdirection, keeping you busy, but away from the hard work, the real work, the vital work, essentially to those that are essential to making progress on your goals. The only way to stop that vicious emotional cycle is to take a deep breath and say, now what? That's it. You don't need to fix anything. You don't have to understand why you have been procrastinating, what deep emotional trauma or wound is stemming from this. No navel gazing required. Just catch yourself and stop the cycle with one deep breath and a decision. Now what? Then next, make that decision super small. All you need to do is take one little baby step, one itsy bitsy teeny weeny tiny step on the vital project that you're supposed to be working on. You're not committing to working on it for an hour or 90 minutes or half the day. Just 3 minutes, okay? That's it. 3 minutes is all you're gonna commit to. Here's the key here. Don't get ready. Don't get yourself prepared. Don't wait until you're in the right mood. Those are all stall tactics that your emo monster uses to delay and to pull you back into procrastination. No, just start wherever you are. You're only committing to 3 minutes right now. It could be as simple as opening up that Word doc, giving it a title and starting the first sentence or two, or opening up your Keynote software, making the initial title slide and slide number 1, or opening up that planner and putting the date and time at the top, jotting down your first idea, even if it's a bad one, just start writing, or opening up that budgeting Excel spreadsheet, titling it and inserting your first formula. 3 minutes, that's all. Here's what you will find. Those 3 minutes will lead you forward and often take you through an hour or two of productive work. You see, the hardest part of accomplishing any project is starting. Starting is the hardest. In the journey of 1,000 miles, it is the first step that is the hardest. Breaking that initial inertia, that is the hardest part of motion. But once you're in motion, motion tends to continue. Motivation and momentum follow action. Dang. There is a ton of statements right there that are great for your Darren Daily Journal. If you didn't capture them, rewind and go grab them. This is why you have to make that first action as teeny, tiny, easy peasy as possible so that you can make it quick with no friction and no mental or emotional negotiation required. Just start. 3 minutes only, wherever you are, whenever you realize that procrastination has grabbed you. And that's number 2. Here's number 3. You have to make what you want to do, need to do, should do in order to achieve what you want easy to do. Things like blocking and chunking. Blocking dedicated times on your schedule that are non-negotiable and uninterruptible. And chunking your project down into bite-sized, easy wins. And most especially, making it hard to do all those things that tempt you, seduce you, pull you, distract you, and derail you from doing those things that you want to, need to, and should be doing. You know this, but you have to continually re-engineer your environment to root out all the temptations on your weakness, those escape hatches your emo monster uses to help you delay and procrastinate. Leave your phone in the other room. Shut your door. Put on noise-canceling headphones. Log off of that damn Slack. Take your email offline. Turn off Wi-Fi if you have to, or go work at a library or offline somewhere if you have to. This does not have to be complicated. Here's all you're trying to do. Eliminate all the potential inputs and tugs on your attention from the outside world. Everything, if you can be distracted by anything, even one thing, the emo monster will win. It's not a matter of if, only how quickly, and most often it will be before you make any progress on the thing that you have emotional struggle with to begin with. You know all this already, but based on your experience of this in a day-to-day of your whole life's results up to this point, you know you are still struggling with this. But if you just use these 3 ways to manage and mitigate your emotions, the actual root cause of your procrastination, then you can keep the emo monster at bay and make huge strides on your vital work. Unleash your greater potential and obtain those big, hairy, and audacious goals that you have. It's as simple as this. 1, forgive. 2, act. 3 minutes, that's it. And then 3, continue to make the bad hard and the good easy. Incidentally, this is what makes Insane Productivity so special and unlike any productivity training available. It is not about time management. It is about self-management and self-mastery. Understand that discipline, willpower, and self-control fails 100% of the time, over time. The only way to gain mastery over yourself is to eliminate the need for discipline, willpower, and self-control, to render them unnecessary and obsolete. Insane Productivity quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily methods of operation. You can learn the complete success vital system inside. You want to systemize the ordinary to free up your attention and talent for the extraordinary. You want to systemize the predictable so that you can deliver on the exceptional. People complain about the lack of control or freedom that they have, yet in the same breath, discount the value of well-designed systems. Freedom requires structure. Structure is what makes freedom possible. Structure liberates creativity. It allows it to flourish. Operational excellence that powers creative high performance requires a baseline operating structure. Then on top of that, your human capacity is free to fly. I don't believe Insane Productivity is open for enrollment right now, but I highly suggest that you get yourself on the early notification list so that you could be alerted the next time a class opens. It is the most comprehensive, world-class, and actionable productivity and self-mastery course available anywhere. I know, because the best of what is out there was distilled into and delivered in there. I've done all the hard work for you, but the choice to take advantage of it is up to you. And if you are up for ending procrastination today and forevermore, write #NoMoProcrastination in the comments below.